These are the new shutters replacing the old shutters that were lifetime guaranteed through Lowe's Hardware. Credit to Lowe's for honoring that warranty and providing the new shutters. This video will give you information that you can't obtain anywhere else. I did research on this and there just was not good information on how to replace the shutters. Now, this is not installing new shutters and drilling the holes. You'd need to do that from the outside on a ladder. But this I did on the inside. Yes, it was hard, but I'm 81. I didn't want to get on a ladder. Here I have removed the shutters from the inside of my house through the open window using a flat hoe. You can also use a pry bar. Maybe you can get your claw hammer under it, but you need to try to remove those shutters gently so that you can pull out those Sure-Lock fasteners. Some of them may already be broken. They do get brittle over time and they do break. Sure-Lock fasteners come in a bag of 12 and are available anywhere from $6 to $10, and that's in 2024. Here are some of the tools that I used. Of course, a claw hammer, side cutters, needle nose, a pry bar, 1/8" drill, 1/4" masonry bit. I used some gutter spikes to hold the shutters in place on the wall. You will need a tape measure to measure the depth of the hole in the brick because you may have to cut a little bit of the Sure-Lock fastener off. You don't want to wait and install one too long because they're very hard to get back out, and of course it won't go all the way in the hole if it's too long. And these are the Sure-Lock fasteners that come in a pack of 12, as I mentioned previously. Anywhere from $6 to $10. They're available on Amazon. They're available at Lowe's Hardware and other places online too. You need to make sure all the old holes are clear, and you need to measure the depth to make sure that your Sure-Lock fasteners are not too long. I made this Sure-Lock removal tool from a drywall screw and a piece of sheet metal with a hole drilled in the center of it, and the sides of that sheetrock screw ground flat on two sides so that it won't turn once the sheet metal is folded over it tightly in a vise. Works great. You may be able to use a drywall screw alone without making this tool, but I am old. I'm 81 years old. My hands are weak, and I wouldn't be able to insert a drywall screw into that Sure-Lock fastener leaning out through the window. So this enabled this old man to be able to turn this into the Sure-Lock fastener that has broken and left remaining in the wall. You may have trouble getting a drywall screw to screw into that Sure-Lock fastener, and that's the reason I used an 1/8" drill bit. I'll use that to run into the Sure-Lock fastener and then start the drywall screw. Then you can use a claw hammer to remove it, or a nail removing tool as you saw in the photo. Or you can use side cutters under the head of the drywall screw, or needle nose pliers under the head of the drywall screw if you're using the screw alone. This drywall screw tool that I made can be used with what I mentioned, a claw hammer, side cutters, needle nose, but it will pull them out. It works really, really good. I had this 1/4" drill bit, and you can see the serrations on the shaft of it. And what I use that for, if the shutters don't line up perfectly, you can insert this drill bit into the hole drilled in the brick, and it will eat away a little bit of that vinyl around the hole you have drilled in the shutter. Just don't overdo it, because you want the head of that Sure-Lock fastener to cover the hole. You need to lay your old shutter over the new one, as you see here, and I've taped it to make sure it doesn't move. Of course, mark your shutters as you take them down where they go so that you'll drill your holes correctly. So the next step is to drill the holes with a 3/8 drill bit or a 3/8 spade bit, which works too if you've got a good spade bit. It'll cut right through that vinyl. Now you want to do this in warm weather. Don't try this in cold weather because these can be very brittle when it gets cold and they'll chip instead of boring a hole. It's critical that you do this in warm weather. Don't attempt it at all if it's cold weather. Of course, these are marked with a piece of tape, left and right, where they go, as to which room. Panel shutters marked top as well. Especially need to be marked correctly on panel shutters because on panel shutters they can be used either way. There's no top or bottom to a panel shutter, at least the ones I have. You may want to tie a string to these while you're installing them if you're worried about dropping them, especially if they hit concrete. Use the gutter spikes or anything 1/4 inch to line up 2 of the holes to hold it in position while you check to be sure that all the other holes match up for your Sure-Lock fasteners. Don't install the Sure-Lock fasteners until you're sure that they're going to fit. Now you can push them in just a little bit and be able to get them out, but don't drive them in until you're sure that you have the shutter in the right position and that the holes do match up. Again, be sure of the length of your Sure-Lock fasteners. You may have to cut a little bit off. And you will also need a 2-step step ladder if you're doing this from inside the house the way I did.